When Charles Dickens described one of those March days as when the sun shines hot and the wind blows cold, when it is summer in the light and winter in the shade, I'm sure he never gave a thought about spring in the year 2024. 1 minute I'm basking in the sun and the next trying to keep warm. Yet the signs of spring are in the hot as well as the cold, and plants are coming alive at their own pace as they usually do. I must have been around 11 years old or so when I came home from school one day and plunked myself onto the lower bunk of what we called a double-decker bed. I was still wearing the pleated overalls and white shirt that made up my school uniform. I burst into tears and cried as if my heart was about to break. An older sibling found me like this. She asked me why I was crying. I said, "I don't know." To which she responded, "Then you must be crazy if you're crying for no reason." There was just so much we didn't understand then. Everyone who behaved oddly was labeled crazy. As a child, crazy to me was the man who walked the street and talked and laughed to himself. Crazy was the woman who shook our gate violently, begging for food. She scared the young me. I didn't want to be crazy. The pattern of hiding deep feelings was beginning to take root. Thankfully, we've come such a long way since then. So, why is it important to seek help or to just share our stories with others? I heard a rabbi tell a story about two men suffering from gout who went to visit a doctor. As the doctor examined the first man, he screamed in pain. When the second man was examined, he showed no sign of any discomfort whatsoever. Later, the first man said to the other one, "Whoa, I have never seen someone with such self-control. How did you remain silent in the presence of so much pain?" The second man said, "You think I'm an idiot? I showed him my healthy foot." Rabbi Jacobson's comment at the end was, "In life, we always want to show our healthy sides. If we want to heal, we must be authentic and vulnerable, and that is not an easy thing to do." And it really isn't. Being vulnerable is risky business. Vulnerability could mean hurt, it could mean ridicule. The sad thing is, just being ourselves, how we look, how we speak, the things we like, what we don't like, can make us vulnerable to the bullies of this world. Believe me, I know. I was teased for all the above. Vulnerability doesn't always lead to healing. Neither does it always lead to embarrassment. It is important to find the right avenues when seeking help. After conversations about my mom, too often my siblings and I were left with the feeling that we were not doing enough, or that we should push through no matter our own circumstances. Very few people truly understood the children's point of view. It was refreshing to hear a pastor say things like, "That must be so difficult," or "I know you're all doing your best," rather than "she's your mother, she's old," or "it is your burden to bear, and the Bible says." His understanding made such a difference. It was never a matter of not doing what we had to do for her. It was about doing it and not breaking down ourselves. When all the anxiety, the emotional dysregulation, the work stress, resentment, frustrations, mom's Alzheimer's diagnosis, etc., caused me to blow up and blow out, it was a relief to find quote-unquote safe people to talk to. Whether I spoke to a spiritual leader, a friend, or a therapist, good things took place. One of the first things that happened on my journey towards healing was my feelings were validated. I wasn't just a complainer. I wasn't a bad daughter or sister or a terrible teacher. No, I was actually dealing with a lot of difficult things. What else happened? I got tools to cope. It took me a while to implement strategies and break patterns, to set boundaries, but I'm getting better. Where am I? Yes, number 3. I felt less alone. Many people are experiencing the same things. Number 4, I also learned to look at things from a different perspective. Were my thoughts and feelings valid, justifiable, or was I looking at a situation with skewed lenses? Fifthly, I started to pay attention to my feelings and to identify what made me feel the way I did. Sixthly, or that sounds strange saying that, number 6, a link in the chain broke and changes began to take place. I don't really know how to explain this and would love to explore it more in another video. But just by talking, letting out fears and frustrations, I was empowered to make necessary changes. I'd be lying if I said every time I shared something personal with someone, it turned out well. However, when I opened up to the right people, there were great benefits. We too should create an atmosphere in ourselves so others can feel safe coming to us. God works through people, and I believe He wants us all to be whole.